Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're joining us from. Welcome to Lecture 2 in Session 5 of the first IHF Live Online Symposium. My name is Courtney Gahan. I'm a member of the IHF Media Group and I'm the moderator for this lecture this afternoon. To begin, for those joining us for the first time, I'll let you know that we have 4 translation languages available. We have French, Spanish, Arabic, and Russian, and you can use these only if you are joining us on Zoom. You can find the options at the bottom of your screen by clicking the globe icon and choosing the label for your language. And please note that for Arabic users, you need to choose the label Chinese. This first IHF Live Online Symposium is part of the Virtual Academy launched by the IHF to allow for global online licensing and education opportunities. All of this falls under the umbrella of the IHF Education Centre, available at ihfeducation.ihf.info. This symposium comprises a total of 20 lectures, and we are now in the last 3. You can find all the previous lectures on the IHF Education Centre and the IHF Facebook page. This lecture this afternoon is presented by IHF lecturer Tono Huelin and is focused in 2 parts on the last 30 seconds rule and empty goal. So please feel free to ask questions throughout. We will be stopping between the 2 topics to answer your questions, and we'll also address some questions at the end. So, Tono, we are ready for you to begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Courtney, for the introduction. Good evening, good afternoon, morning to everyone from all regions in our humble world. I would like to start with making a reference to this COVID-19 pandemic that we are all facing. Today is 24th of July, was the day scheduled for the opening ceremony of the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. And tomorrow should have been the first day of competition for the men's competition and Monday for women. And we are here with this online seminar. I hope that that everything is recovering and we can go back to the normal in 1 year time. Okay, the topics that we're going to present today are the rules related with the rules of the game, and special 2 topics are situations that are creating some doubts because are new situations. First of all, the last 30 second rules, and the other side, the empty goals. And I'm going to try to explain which are the correct interpretations from the PRC and the criteria. I want to mention, first of all, make a reference to the rule working group. So we have in the IHF working group that was born for close collaboration between the Commission of Coaches, the CCM, and the PRC, the Playing Rules and Referees Commission. This group has some objectives that, first of all, is evaluate the existing rules of the game in a continuous basis. This is a permanent study of the situations, trying to improve. Develop a catalog of questions on the rules of the game that are the ones that we are using also to educate the referees and everybody in the humble world. Also answer officially to questions that people can raise directly. This is it's a system that is posted in the IHF, and our expert rules are answering to these theoretical questions. Then, when it's needed, there are clarifications needed. We are also trying to write and spread these identifications. And of course, and the most important part is to search for improvement of the rules of the game. Systems are basically is not a decision of the rule group. Rule group is only the working team to do that, but we are pulling opinions from different areas in the humble world. And finally, we are also developing a multimedia teaching material for the Education Center. So, this is a good example of these materials will be published in the Education Center and put it available. So this is the existing group. You see all very young guys that are working in this area. The chairman of the group is Ramon Gallego, that is also the PRC chairman. Dietrich Spate, that is the Methods Commission chairman. And then we have the members are Hans-Peter Kabejas, Jürgen Sharoff, Jorn Nielsen, Helmut Horist, that is the representative from the EHF, Dragan Acheski, that is a new member since last year. He joined us last year. There is also another member that is Laszlo Nach, that he joined us recently. He attended our last meeting that was at the beginning of the year, and myself. So let me first of all make a quick introduction of the changes of the rule in 2016. These are the existing ones. No, this last change of the rules was created with also a new rules working group that started to work in 2013, and the starting point was making a survey asking to everybody, all the stakeholders from Humboldt regarding the proposals for changes. No, and then after was a EHF forum that was in Denmark in 2014 with participation of really relevant personalities, coaches, people from media, EHF representative, etc., and also EHF referees. Then the proposed changes were tested in the 2015 Youth and Junior World Championships in Brazil and Russia. And there was really a very good feedback from the coaches from these two championships. Everyone, also delegates, referees, and then these new rules were approved and they're put in place in 2016. So it was the first time that were implemented was in the women's junior and youth world championship in Russia and Slovakia. These were already after the approval of the rules, and in the Olympic Games. So it was a bit unusual that we have a change starting in the Olympic Games, but this was the case that year. So the changes in 2016 were basically five main changes. No, passive play, last minute, 30 seconds. There was a change in that consideration. Now we'll see about that. The blue card, implementation of the blue card, situation of the goalkeeper as player, also a new situation, and the injured player rule. So today we are going to speak about two of these rules that are approved by 2016. One is the last 30 seconds rule, and the second is not really a new rule from 2016 because the criteria for empty goal for the clear chance of scoring was before, it was implemented many years before. But now it is a situation that is happening very often because of the other rule change, that is the goalkeeper as player. Well, the rule group, we, as I told you, that was there are meetings, there are continuous work, and there were some guidelines. We, in this period of 4 years, since 2016, when the rule changes were approved, there were also implementation of guidelines. No, the first one was published by 2018, valid as of 1st of July 2018, and was half year of work and a final meeting to decide exactly the final changes and the wording of the changes. And then was the publication of this guideline. And there were basically 5 new guidelines and 2 guidelines updated. So the previous ones already written as annex in the rules of the game 2016 were also updated for this version 2018. One of the new guidelines is the count of passes in case of passive play. Also, the goalkeeper, special rule for the goalkeeper, disqualification for collisions outside the goal area. 7 meter with empty goal, use of the video proof in some cases with some deviations to the normal rules when there is a video proof. Another case is the player entering with wrong color number to clarify that it's not that is not a punishment when a player makes a mistake entering with a wrong color. And then two updated rules, that one is assisting injured players and the other is not respecting the distance. So today we are going to speak, obviously, 7 meter with empty goal. So it was valid, the rule applicable in 2016, but also was some clarifications valid since 2018. And the other is not respecting the distance. One of the two rules of the last 30 seconds that was also amended by 2018. Then there was a second publication of guidelines. This was valid as of 1st of July 2019. It was the second update. Was also the result of a complete year of work, and was also a meeting in Basel to decide the wording of these changes. In that case, there were 6 new guidelines and one updated. So the news were also another change for the goalkeeper substitution for the special situation of the final shoot and goalkeeper substitution. If it can be substituted if he's injured. The free throw after the final signal, that is not included in the last 30 seconds. So this is a rule that the last 30 seconds rules are not applicable for a direct shoot after the final signal. Then the number of plays for reserve balls. So we are now the possibility to have more than 2 balls available for playing. Technical equipment at the substitution area. Also something very technical, a wording that was missing or was not clear regarding the application of the 2+2, the 4 minutes reduction on the court for a player. Something new that was also the application of the possibility to allow goals that are not fixed to the ground. So the system of anti-overturn is a solution, technical solution that was agreed that is valid for handball world. And then the updated was also regarding, again, the disqualification, the special rule of the goalkeeper having collisions out of the goal area. Well, then we are focused now in the 2 rules that we are going to discuss, to present the changes. The first thing is that this rule was born in the 2 previous versions of the rules of the game. So it was not new from 2016, but in 2016 was adapted. So in 2005, was included already as a clarification in the rules of the game, not as a rule, but as a clarification, that a situation where a player is making a strong fault in the last minute, it should be considered as a very hard, therefore to be punished with not only red card but also with a written report. So that was the decision. This is exactly the wording of the clarification in the rules 2015. As I said, not in the rules, but it's an additional clarification. Then now we are going to see the changes between what was approved in 2016. So basically the modification of what is already in place now. No? There are 2 main changes. No, the first thing is that the reduction from 1 minute to 30 seconds. 1 minute was clearly too much for the purpose of this rule. And then the most important change was, instead of being these faults punished with red card plus written report, the change was to red card plus 7 meter. That's basically the change. So the written report is therefore disappear completely from the scope of this rule. So instead of written report, 7 meter. So clearly the intention of this change was to be more effective in the original target of this rule, that was to discourage players to make strong faults at the end of the match, that is giving them the possibility to win a match. No, if the punishment is 7 meter, it's clearly a situation to discourage players to do so. So important part also is that the foul needs to take place in the last 30 seconds. So this as example, no? If the foul takes place in the 59:29, but the time that the referees ask for the time and the timekeeper stops is showing 59:31, but the foul took place before, then it's not applicable. And this rule is applicable at the end of the regular playing time. It means the second half, and also in the overtimes periods, but also in the second halves, never in the first half of the match or in the first half of the overtimes. Well, basically, this rule is there are two sections, no? There are two rules. It's not really one rule, no? One of them is related with the situation of destroying executions of throws. So originally, this rule was called situations with ball out of play, not in play because a throw needs to be executed. This is the first part, or the first rule that we are going to discuss now. And the second is the red card with the ball is in play. So this is the originally from 2005 rule that any foul that is strong for a red card, if it happens in this period, in this special period, it will give the additional punishment as per the rule. So in that case, 7 meters. So then we are going to explain a little bit first part, no? The ball out of play. So this is included in the rule 810C. I'm going to repeat several times in that presentation, the 810C versus 810D. 810C means a throw needs to be executed, and then a defending player is preventing or delaying the execution of the throw. Okay? Before it was a red card and written report, and now, since 2016, is red card plus 7 meters. Preventing means in any way. So it's not only destroying the player who wants to shoot, but also preventing that the player that is in the place to execute the throw receives the ball. Okay? And this includes also behaviors at the bench that are to be punished, and due to this behavior, the technical delegate had to stop. If it interrupts an execution, also is to be punished in the same case. Later, we'll speak about what is the rule interpretation that was changing in the guidelines publication in 2018. That basically is that a throw that is already executed and blocked by the defender, so it's an action directly against the execution of the throw, is also included in the application of the conditions for this rule, red card plus 7 meters. Important that the action of the defender, in case of standing too close or destroying the execution, but the ball was already left the hand of the player, that means that under the consideration when a throw is executed, is considered already executed, but the action requires that the player is making an active action to destroy this execution. Well, let's start with some examples. Let me show the clips that I'm going to show here. So this is a situation. We are in the last 30 seconds. This is a foul. The referee is whistle for the foul, and the defender player, what was she doing? She was basically not releasing the player, not continue grabbing, therefore destroying the possibility to execute, to make a throw execution. And even the ball is left out of the hand of the attacker. This situation, because it's in the last 30 seconds, needs to be punished with a red card to the defender player plus 7 meters for the blue team. This is an example, one of the oldest clips that we have, because it's a very good explanation of the situation. No? This is end of the match was a goal. A player wants to execute a throw off after the goal, and a defender player was grabbing and therefore destroying or delaying the execution of this throw. That means that this player is to be disqualified, not blue card anymore, so not a written report, but 7 meter. Okay. It's important to mention that in that case, the situation was happening almost in the last second, which is the possibility for the attacker executing a throw off to score a goal in the last second. It's really difficult. So the action from the defender was clearly a wrong action with very tough consequences. Okay. Another situation. In some cases, you will see that there are good referee decisions, and in some other clips, the decisions are not as good. So I'm not selecting the clips because of referees or the teams, not at all. It's only a question of showing examples that are good for education. That's basically the intention. So this player was clearly grabbing the ball, not releasing the ball that he should be doing to allow the other team to execute a throw quicker. So then we are going back to the explanation of what was due in 2019, no? in the guidelines that were published in 2018. Until then, the only chance to apply the rule was if the ball was not executed. It means that if a player has already executed a ball and the defender was just stopping the ball half meter after the execution, the rule was not applicable. So in that time was only 2 minutes, like any other moment of the match, but not 7 meter. This was something like a bit unfair, no? That if the spirit of the rule was to try to avoid that the defenders are destroying an execution, if the execution was already done and destroyed, but even after the ball has left the hand of the thrower, was a little bit unfair. And this was the reason of that change. So there was a wider additional interpretation that when the ball is already executed, but is blocked by a defender too close, is a situation of also the application of the red card. In the other hand, just the opposite, no? If the defender player, even standing less than 3 meters, makes no interference in the execution of the throw, then the rule is not applicable. Okay? So when the player standing too close uses the position to block the shoot or also to intercept the pass from the thrower, then any of these situations, the rule is applicable. Red card and 7 meter. Well, let's go to see some more examples in that case of situations after the execution of the throw. Attacking team, they are now losing the ball. Referees decide the attacker fall, and the executor of the throw is trying to pass, executing the throw and passing. And the defender was blocking the ball less than 3 meters and blocking the ball and therefore the execution of the throw. That situation is clearly included in the definition of the 2018 guideline that also blocking a ball already executed is considered for application of the rule. Red plus 7 meter. This is also a situation. This is in the last World Championship, and was this execution from the attacker, and the defender was standing too close, less than 3 meters, and he stops and blocks the ball that was thrown to the goal. So in that case, the rule should have been applied as well. There are the two conditions. We are in the last 30 seconds. There is a direct execution of a shoot, and the defender that standing too close actively destroys the result of the throw. Okay, we'll see it again. Not that situation, but it comes now. All the attackers are confirming the rules, but this is also critical. If an attacker player is not placed properly, then the referees cannot accept this and should restart the execution with attacker players in the right position. Well, a couple more of examples. The situation, what happened here is a goal, and then a continuation. This is an execution of a throw off. When the player executes the throw off, the defenders needs to stay 3 meters away. But my comment here is that once the ball has left the hand of the executor, the players can go closer to the 3 meters. So in that case, the situation is borderline. I think we can see it again. The important part is in that moment the execution of the throw off is that player, and the defending player in that moment he's more than 3 meters. Then is the execution, and then the player takes the ball. It's very difficult to decide exactly for the referees to make sure that if the player, because player was running in the exact moment of the execution of the throw off, the defender player was more than 3 meters or not. Then the rule is clear. If the defender was less than 3 meters and he actively destroys the execution, standing less than 3 meters, then the rule is applicable. This is another similar situation, a throw-off execution. A player is shooting directly to goal, and the defender players are maybe less than 3 meters, not clear. So if we cannot make a good reference because of the circle, because the circle is not exactly 3 meters. It depends on the size. There are different sizes depending on different competitions. He is outside this area, and then maybe it's more than 3 meters. If it was more than 3 meters, there is no infraction at all. So this is a right defense from the defender. But if the defender was less than 3 meters and was blocking, then the rule 8C applies. So it doesn't matter which is the result. So this is the last situation. Maybe the result is not critical for the decision of who is the winner. But if there is also more than one goal difference, the rule is also applicable. Well, let's see a couple of examples that wrong interpretations or wrong decisions from the referees. So we are in the last 30 seconds again. So this is a free throw execution. The team was impassive. And then the decision of the referee is to punish the defender for standing too close. So if we are following what I mentioned, the rule applicable for that case, there are no possibility to give the 2 minutes. So if there is an infraction that is for standing too close or destroying the execution of a throw, then the only possible decision is red card and 7 meters. Another thing is that if a decision was needed, because probably there was no intervention from the defender that is affecting to the execution of the throw. No? Important part is what happened here. The execution is done. Yes, indeed, the player was less than 3 meters, but was not affecting to the result of the throw. Yeah, then interesting situation. possible advantage or not advantage. We are in the last 30 seconds, indeed. We are probably in the last 5 seconds. Then there is a fall, referees decide the fall. The attacker player needs to go to pick the ball. He goes to the place of the execution. It's not needed the referee whistles for the execution. And then he executes directly and scores a goal. The case is the defenders are clearly less than 3 meters, so they are disturbing the execution of the throw, but the shoot is correct. The player scores a goal. Most important thing always in our sport is advantage. So this goal should have been given and not given the interruption. If the interruption is done because of the action of the defenders, that was clearly a foul from them, then the only possible decision was apply the rule 810C, therefore red card plus 7 meter to the for the red team. This is an interesting situation, very interesting situation. What happened here? It was the white team was in attack. They were in passive. It was a team timeout, and they were already in four passes. And then the referees after the 7th pass, decided passive play. So ball for the other team. But the problem is that the attacking player or did not hear or he continued. But the case is that he destroyed the execution of this throw. So if we are looking to what the rule says, clearly the rule is applicable. So the red card. So they are in passive. Then the decision is in that moment, the decision of 7 passes, and the attacker player shoots, and not only shoots, but also is fighting for the ball. But when he should have released completely the ball. Interesting situation. Well, then we just jump now to the second rule of the last 30 seconds. So we can forget now the execution of the throws, and we are going to the rule that was originally the reason of this last 30 seconds of the initially in 2005 the punishment, the strong punishment. No, so what are situations where ball is in play and defender makes a foul that in any other moment of the match will be punished with rule 8.5 means red card. So what I mean red card is a foul that itself, the foul is for red card. Not in any case any foul that is, even if it's a sabotage, that if the foul is for 2 minutes in other moment of the match, in the last 30 seconds will be also for 2 minutes. So the rule 810D will not be applied if the foul is not for a red card. Again, like in the previous rule, before 2016, this was red card plus written report, and after 2016, this is the more effective measure, that is red card plus 7 meter, and not a written report. Well, just a reminder that there is a case where not only red card can be given, but also a blue card, but it's only depending on the situation itself. Not that so it's not linked with the rule, the last 30-second rule, the blue card plus an additional report. This additional report is only in case that the action of the defender is strong, that it needs to be qualified for blue card for the action itself, not in relation with the last 30 seconds rule. Okay, let's see a few examples. Strong fault impact against the face of the attacker, this decision should be red card in the last 30 seconds, the same that if it will be a red card in any other moment of the match. Then, and because we are in the last 30 seconds of the match, the decision is red card plus 7 meter. 7 meter, I want to remind that in that case is not related with a already clear chance of scoring. Another situation, a clear action from defender against the face. Referee's decision is for red card. Okay. Well, what I want to mention is that the situation, so what is written in the scoreboard was not right, because the situation happened before. No, it was in the 32. So that was right. So it was red card and 7 meter. This was also an interesting situation that is giving us also a possibility to discuss about that situation. This also ball in play. A team was in attack. Was a shoot, and a defender was inside the goal area and was stopping the ball with the foot. So in any other moment of the match, this situation will be punished with 7 meter plus 2 minutes. Not red card at all. There is no any kind of particularly reckless action. So it was simply a situation of destroying a clear chance of scoring. No? When the defended player was inside and stopping the ball inside the goal area, 7 meter. Then in that case, the decision was to go to the video proof, to review the situation in the video proof. I have to say that this is a rule that is applicable only in the IHF. In the EHF, the IHF, there is no chance to review a situation to decide between 2 minutes and red card. And well, basically the decision was red card, but was a wrong decision. And not only was a wrong decision because red card is not needed here, but also there is no any reference or any result, because the main reason of this rule is when there is a red card and there is no clear chance of scoring, it will be punished with 7 meter. In that case, the situation was already 7 meter. So the additional punishment, which is the 7 meter, it will not happen. And the red card has no influence in the match that is already over. And I remind that is not for blue card, for not additional written report. Then there is no reason for the application of the rule. Also, the case we mentioned the situations of interruption because of faulty substitution, like in that case. So the white team is in attack, and then there is a faulty substitution from the blue team. I want to mention something here in relation with that. If there is a clear chance of scoring, if there is a faulty substitution, and it's because of a change fault, not an additional player, this will be only 2 minutes, and of course 7 meters. But 7 meters not because of the rule of the last 30 seconds, because of the interruption of a clear chance of scoring. But if the player that is entering is an additional player, then in any moment of the match, the decision will be 7 meters, of course, because of the interruption of the clear chance, plus red and blue card. So this is a big difference between faulty substitution, that it will be only 2 minutes, and additional player entry, that is blue card. Then this is also a situation, also depends on the decision of the referees. I want to remind that if the decision is for 2 minutes, then the rule is not applicable. It's not happening yet, it's coming now. Then is a fault here in 10, 11 meters is a fault. Referees take a decision after a short protocol to punish with 2 minutes. If the decision is for 2 minutes, then the 7 meters is not applicable. If the decision would have been for red card, then it means 7 meters. That is, I think, the important takeaway from that situation. Well, this is also probably an error from the referees. No, we'll see. It's not happening yet. It's coming now after this loss of possession. This player is in counter-attack, makes a pass. Then it's a defender making a fault that is clearly destroying a clear chance of scoring. So the fault is for 7 meters. But again, the fault is for 7 meters, but the fault is not for red card. Well, the referees can consider red card if they have seen that the action was in counter-attack, but was from the front, so and was not against the face. So red card is not in any case related with the last 30 seconds. So if it's already 7 meters, the red card makes no influence. Okay. Well, let me just explain something also, the theoretical part of this rule. There is another part that is the application, the special application of the advantage rule in that situation. Situations, the ball in play, and then how the referees need to react in those situations. If the attacker who receives the strong foul scores the goal, we are following the main advantage rule in handball. That is a golden rule. So the goal is valid and we don't have to stop because of this. But the attacker passes the ball and the teammate scores the goal, also we are applying the advantage rule. But in case that the player who is receiving the pass is failing, then 7 meters is applicable in all cases. So we are going back to the application of the strong fall in the last 30 seconds and the application of the red card plus 7 meters in that situation. And also another limitation is that it cannot be a second pass to a second teammate. No? If there are more than 2 passes, then the referees need to stop immediately and decide for the 7 meters. And let's see one situation. There are not many of these. So this is advantage. There are 2 passes and this player scores the goal. And then 2 passes after the foul. Then the referees make a protocol and they decide that this foul that happened before was for red card. Because we are in the last 30 seconds of the match. If the decision was for red card, they should have stopped the advantage. They should not have allowed the second pass. Okay? Let's see again the fault. The fault is here. Well, if they consider that is red, they should stop in the second pass. The first pass they can allow, the second not. Well, and this is a situation that is a bit a pity because this is a clearly error from the referees, but I also want to remind something. The last 30 seconds rule can only apply to the actions from the defending team, never actions to the attacker team. And in that situation, unfortunately, there was a wrong interpretation from the referees and a big mistake. That team mistake could lead to a repetition of the match or a complaint from the team, because was a decision against the rules. So let's see, go to the situation. The time is not okay, it's stopped, but is happening. There is a shoot, this team loses the ball, and this team who is leading then sends the ball away. Then the match ends, the time is ending, and then there is a complaint, and the referees start to discuss, and they say, this is a unfair behavior, this player shooting the ball to the stands, and then they decide for red card. But this red card, in any case, if the red card is valid or not, never can lead to a 7 meter in the other side. This is completely wrong. So the last 30-second rules only apply to actions from defenders trying to destroy an action with a very unfair situation. A situation in attack never lead to a 7 meter for the other team. Okay, then I think that this is the end of the first part. I don't know, Courtney, if there are already any question regarding this part.
Yes, we have a few questions. So let me see which one first. Well, first, this is a bit more general. Somebody asked about applying this rule when you're with young players. Does this apply in the same way in all age groups, or what can we say about that?
Yep, this is a rule that applies completely to all categories. So the players need to understand that that very unfair situations are not accepted in our sport. So yeah, it's applied in all categories.
Okay, we have some quite specific situations. So somebody asked first in when there is a free throw awarded, but one of the attacking team is, if the referee misses that an attacker is within the 9 meter area, can the defender still be punished with a red card and in this way, or what is the situation here?
Well, there is a clear situation. This is a very good question. So this is coming for sure from a referee. Yeah, this is a very interesting case. Yes, the condition that for accepting a throw before the referee is whistle for the execution, a free throw, the referees don't need to whistle. So this is not mandatory. So if a player is going to shoot and an attacking player is in a wrong position, for example, between 9 and 6, the referees need to stop immediately, but need to stop to ask the attacking players that are wrongly positioned to be placed in a right position. And then in that moment, this needs to be restarted with a whistle execution from the referee. Then if there is a situation that defending is too close, but an attacking player is not in the right position, the referees cannot punish the defender. Take care of something. So we are speaking about the player is the ball with the ball in the position and ready to execute. But if a defended player is delaying the pass from wherever the ball is to the pass to the player who needs to execute, then the rule is applicable, because there is a situation of delaying of the execution, even if another attacking player is not in the proper position yet.
Okay. Then somebody asked what happens if there is an incorrect substitution from the other team when one team is shooting, the other team does an incorrect substitution, but the shooting chance is not interrupted. What does the table official do in this case? Yeah,
this also interesting question, because this is linked with the mandatory non-application of the advantage rule in case of faulty substitutions. So it's obligation from the technical delegates or the scorekeeper or the timekeeper to immediately, when there is a faulty substitution, to stop the match, interrupt the match. Then the only possible decision is take the decision based on the situation of the game. If it happens in the last 30 seconds, well, the last 30 seconds is nothing to do with that situation, because it's a ball in play. A faulty substitution is not a situation for red card. It's a situation for 2 minutes. And we said that for 2 minutes, the last 30 seconds rule does not apply with ball in play. So, but if there's a clear chance of scoring, of course, the decision is 7 meters, but not because of the last 30 seconds rule, because of the interruption of the clear chance of scoring done by a guilty team which made the faulty substitution.
Okay. Okay. One more is about in reference to Rule 8.10d. If there is a defender in front of the attacker, can this be considered a clear scoring chance? I think this person must be referring to some specific things where they've seen that the referee judged it to be a clear scoring chance, but there was a defender in the way. So maybe just some more information about what is considered a clear scoring chance.
Yeah, maybe because the other part that I'm going to speak about is more related with 7 meters with clear chance of scoring. I'm going to explain the different cases of clear chance of scoring. Maybe this question is more related to those situations. Okay. Yeah, there are possibilities that a defender in front of the attacker is a clear chance of scoring. In which case, when there is an empty goal, if there is the goal is empty, and even if a defender is in between him and the player with the ball, is a clear chance of scoring. So if there is a distraction, it will be 7 meters. But nothing to do with the 8.10d. 8.10d means a strong fault to be punished with red card, and this red card is converted in 7 meters. And that question is probably more related with clear chance of scoring, and Rule 8.10d is not related directly with a clear chance of scoring. It's a special application of the.
Okay. Just one more. Someone asked, is there a specific impact of giving the red card in these last 30 seconds? Like, why is 2 minutes not sufficient?
I don't know if I understood. So if it's...
Well, I mean, for example, maybe at a world championship, is there an impact in a later game if a player receives a red card in the last 30 seconds?
Yes.
I think that's what that person is asking. Why do we not just do 2 minutes? Why red card?
Why we need to convert a red card in 2 minutes? I don't really understand what is the meaning of the question. If the action is for red card, the referees need to decide for red card plus 7 meters. 7 meters is the consequence of the red card. If the action is for 2 minutes, it's 2 minutes and the fault consequence of the infraction, not 7 meters, unless there is a clear chance of scoring, of course. But this is the standard situation. But this rule, I insist, is not applicable for actions of defenders leading to 2 minutes. Only to actions leading to red card.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we can continue if you're ready.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, next part. We are going now to speak about the empty goal. So, first thing that I want to mention is that empty goal is not a new rule. Empty goal was described in the rules of the game, the clarifications for a long time. Let me just make a quick introduction about the different cases of 7 meters. No, the first thing is that if we have clear chance of scoring, this is what we are used to. When someone is illegally destroying a clear chance of scoring, needs to be punished with 7 meters. Also, when it's interruption from the table, the case that we just discussed now, faulty substitution. During a clear chance of scoring, then we have a decision of 7 meters. And also if there is interruption for external interferences. These are related with destruction of clear chance of scoring. And then we have also other cases that are, for the first time, not related with clear chance of scoring. So this is new in the rule. The infractions related with the last 30 seconds that we just discussed. No, if they are for both A10C or for A10D, this is not the clear chance of scoring is not a pre-requirement for the decision of 7 meter. Okay, then the description of the clear chance of scoring. There are three cases, no, or I would say maybe four, because in the rule 6A there are two situations, no. One is the standard one, the one that we already know, that is the normal 7 meter, no, what is player with ball, with the arm ready to shoot, and without any player that is able to defend correctly between him and the goal. And also there is the second case that the same player also ready to receive a ball in the 6 meter line and without any defender that is able to avoid that this player takes the ball and shoots. So that's the standard description of clear chance of scoring. But there are two more. And the two more questions are the case that the players running alone with the ball towards the other goal, and there is no any other opponent that can defend, putting himself between him and the goal. So in that case, it's also a clear chance of scoring, even when the player is not ready to shoot. That's the case of the 6B. And then the final one, that is the most important, or the one that we are going to discuss today, is the situation when the goalkeeper is not in the goal area. So there is an empty goal, and there is an attacker from the other team that has the ball possession and is able to throw to the empty goal. So any infraction from the defender that is destroying this possibility to shoot to the empty goal is also considered clear chance of scoring, and therefore the distraction will be 7 meters. Well, this rule, as I said, was not new, but there is something that yes, it is new from 2016. That is the rule of the 7 players. That makes that this situation is happening very often. A team playing with 7 players or with 6 players when there is is in inferiority for a suspension, then this situation happens very often. Then it was a decision just before the Olympics, PRC, referees, delegates, and it was communicated to all the teams that the criteria for the application of the 7 meter was agreed there, and was like written something more that was only in the clarification of the rule, so something else. That the conditions are, if player has possession of the ball anywhere in the court, regardless is near to the other to the opposite goal or in the other side of the court. So the distance is not something to consider for that situation. But the player is trying to shoot to the empty goal, and there is a distraction, illegal distraction from the defender. This is considered a clear chance of scoring destroyed. So 7 meters. If any of these conditions are not happening, then there is no 7 meters. So if the player is not trying to shoot, then it's not 7 meters. We'll see some examples to clarify clear. So then the Rio criteria was applied since Rio. I think that was communicated to the handball world. Everybody was understanding which is the criteria, but this was only written and described as a clarification in 2018. So before 2018 was only a criteria, but was not specifically written. Since 2018, this is included in the guidelines. Okay. Let's then explain 2 cases, no? Because there is there is another clarification in 2018. Sorry, that. Oh yes, I just went to the beginning. The guideline in 2018, a part of the Rio criteria, was also mentioning another situation or a clarification that this is happening if there's a normal, the ball is in play. So it's a situation where the player is normally playing with a situation in play, but also in the situations that execution is going to be thrown directly from to the empty goal. So there is, for example, a throw off. There is no goalkeeper at the goal, and then the player with the ball is trying to shoot directly to the empty goal, and there is an infraction from the defender that is destroying the throw of execution. Also, this is considered clear chance of scoring and 7-meter decision. So this is a description that in some cases could lead some misinterpretation, and this was then decided. So we have two cases basically, no? That the normal ball in play situation, empty goal, player trying to shoot on goal, doesn't matter the distance, decision should be 7-meter. And also the same case, but if there is an execution, if there is a direct execution to the empty goal, and there's also a distraction from the defenders, and of course, the attackers are properly situated. I think that this is more in line with the previous question. What happens if an attacker player is not situated in the position? Then we cannot go to the 7-meter because the referees need to rectify the position using the whistle, put the attackers in place, and then whistle to restart of the match. Then the possibility of 7 meters is not possible in that case. If any attacker is not placed regarding conforming the rules. Okay. So let's go to see examples of the situations of Rio criteria, what we call the Rio criteria. Empty goal, ball possession, intent to shoot on goal, and destroy it illegally. So that's the description. And let's see some examples. I have many clips here, but I think that we are going to see only a few of them, because if not, we will be out of time. So player with the ball, empty goal. There is a fault from the defender. He was in the middle of the court, and this fault to that player because of the empty goal was a decision of a 7-meter. That was an easy one, probably. Again, another situation, good advantage. The player number 8 has the ball, empty goal, he's trying to shoot, and then the defender was grabbing, is on top of the, of course, mandatory suspension. The technical decision needs to be 7-meter because of that. This is an example of a situation that happens very, very far away from the other goal. And the criteria, as we said, is exactly the same. So the player here is completely on the other side, empty goal. He's trying to shoot, and then it is destroyed by a defender player. Obviously, 7-meter, and if there is a foul to be punished, also the punishment. In that case, grabbing from behind is also a reason for a punishment. Again, I understand that the player is the attacking player is very, very happy because he got the 7-meter, but because of the application of that rule. So she was with the ball, she was trying to shoot to the empty goal, and the action from the defender destroyed this shoot. Doesn't matter that she was far away. The only possible decision from the referees is to give a 7-meter. Okay, let's go to the next one. There are more cases. Remember that you will have all this material in the IHF Education Center, so you could see, you could follow that there. So then let's go to see some different situations that are, or the condition does not apply. This is one of the examples, no? This is empty goal. The yellow team was able to steal the ball. And then referee's decision was 7 meters. But what happened here? That was this player trying to shoot? It seems that not yet. Then, regardless which is the punishment, that of course there is a punishment for the strong fault, but 7 meters is not applicable because the conditions are not met. This player has the ball, was empty goal, but he was not yet trying to shoot. So the only possible decision, technical decision, is free throw and not 7 meters. That was an interesting situation that the referees take a decision. They decided for 7 meters, but they were really thinking what happened in that situation. Were the conditions met for the 7 meters? Was empty goal? Yes. Were the player with the ball was trying to shoot directly to the empty goal? Then no. In that case, the decision of 7 meters would have been wrong. So another thing is the technical of the decision of the referees that they should have reacted in other way, but the decision is not 7 meters because what happened was not the conditions for the Rio criteria were not followed. It was not a player trying to shoot to the empty goal. Well, this is another situation that is, well, it's not really empty goal, but it's also interesting to see, to decide, no? We explain about the 6B, clarification 6B and 6C. In that case, there was a goalkeeper, There was a goalkeeper in the goal. And then for 6C, clarification of empty goal, this will not be applicable, the 7 meter. But there is the possibility that the 7 meter will be applicable by the clarification 6B. Player with the ball running without any other defender between him and the goal. The case is that in that situation, these conditions were neither happening because there were defender players between the attacker player with the ball and the other goal. So there was a decision that should not have been also 7 meters. Even for 6B, it could be considered, but are not neither applicable for conditions for clarification 6B. Okay, then it was also a wrong decision, but for not applying the Rio criteria, because this player was trying to shoot, there is a fault, and the fault, what happened there, was not even decided. But these are the conditions for the application were completely met. There is a fault here, and this player could not score. Okay, let's go to see some more examples. These are examples of the new guideline where not only ball in play, but also ball not in play. So execution of a throw, this is applicable. So in that case was empty goal. The player who is executing is trying to shoot to the empty goal. The defender player is less than 3 meters, and then is destroying the execution of the throw. Then the decision is also 7 meters. After the clarification on the guideline in 2018. And we have another case of throw-off execution, very similar. We cannot see very well, but it's exactly the same situation. This attacking team was going to execute a throw-off directly to the empty goal, and the defender player placed it too close, is blocking the ball, therefore destroying this clear chance of scoring and 7-meter applicable. Very good decision from the referees. It's clearly out of the view, but it happened. So, well, and this is a situation that is also execution, but is completely different situation. I will see now why. So this is a throw-in. Player is executing the throw-in, and the defending player is stopping the execution. But question here is, was this player trying to shoot directly to the goal, or was trying to pass to a teammate? I think that clearly, especially in the repetition, is very clear that the execution of the throw-in is only trying to pass the ball, not throwing directly to the goal. Then the application of the 7-meter is not correct, because the conditions that are needed for the application is that the player is trying to shoot directly to the empty goal, and this was not the case. This is the wording of the clarification. No? Ball is in or out of play. That is what is new, out of play. And any throw is to be executed from a correct position of the thrower of the teammates. Well, another rule or another situation that applies for this rule. Also, there is a clarification that this is not new, that says that if a court player entering the goal area, if the team is playing without a goalkeeper, so we are in the case of empty goal, and a court player of his team who is entering in the team's own goal area to gain an advantage is to be punished progressively. So it's not only 7-meter. If the reason of the destruction of the clear chance of scoring is because the player is inside the 6-meter, a part of the 7-meter, that of course for destroying the clear chance, also mandatory to receive a progressive punishment. Let's see examples. Yeah, this is empty goal, this is a shoot, then the player is inside the 6-meter and the player blocks the ball. This is, of course, illegal because the player cannot jump from inside the goal area. So this is a 7-meter. But because of the rule of the empty goal, specifically means or says that is also to be punished progressively, this player needs to be punished. And normally will be 2 minutes. Well, depending on the moment of the situation, if it happens just at the beginning, it could be yellow card, but normally this will be 2 minutes, this situation. This is another interesting one. It's exactly the same case. This is an execution of a throw-off, and then the player is jumping inside. Referee's decision is clear, was 7-meter. But what they miss here is to punish to the defender for entering the goal area during the execution. During the destruction of the clear chance of scoring. Another situation in that case is that the execution of the throw-off was wrong. So the first thing that the referee should have done here is to stop, interrupt the execution of the throw-off, and restart with whistle. But if this was not happen, so the throw-off execution was right, the decision for the other side is 7-meter because of the destruction of the clear chance of scoring, plus punishment that in that case will be 2 minutes to the defender. And then another situation where we cannot use at all the yellow card. So this player is jumping and he's, I would say, unfair behavior, just kicking the ball with the foot. This is not simply 7-meter plus progressive punishment. This is mandatory 2 minutes because this is unfair behavior. Well, let's see some examples of role substitution. Also, want to mention what says the rule: a clear chance of scoring is destroyed anywhere in the court. That means that is a faulty substitution also is to be punished with clear chance for scoring, empty goal, direct shoot to the goal, and then in that moment there is a faulty substitution. As I said before in the question that someone placed, the table cannot give advantage in that situation. When there is a faulty substitution, it's mandatory to stop immediately. That means that destroy immediately, the goal is not valid. So even the ball is inside the goal is not valid, and then the decision is 7 meters. Of course, 2 minutes to the defending player because of the faulty substitution. And that's the case. That is the shoot directly to goal, and then the official, the technical delegate, stop because of the faulty substitution of the goalkeeper. Okay. Let's see another case that is very similar. It's also a shoot to the empty goal and then a faulty substitution. Goal is not valid. We cannot give advantage. In that case, the rule is very clear. The table needs to stop when there's a faulty substitution immediately. So no possibility to give advantage. So the 2 minutes for the faulty substitution plus the 7 meter. Well, let's go to see, because we are short of time and we are still some examples to see. Advantage, another case that there are some situations that the advantage is related with that. I want to show. There was the first case. The first case was the player was with the ball, was trying to pass to the teammate, probably not trying to shoot to the empty goal. It was a good advantage from the referees. And then, yeah, let's see that situation. She's trying to pass. He is able to pass, good advantage. And then still empty goal, and it's a foul from the defender. Then 7 meter is a clear. So the referees is not needed that they stop at the first time. And the first situation, especially if it's not clear that the shooting was passing, no? Because if he was shooting, yes, it will be in clear chance of scoring. If he's passing the ball, it will not be the case. And then here the advantage in the other sense. Referees are giving advantage. There is a fault, but the defender releases the attacker, and then the attacker has recovered completely the equilibrium, body control, the ball, and shoots, and then shoots away. So if there is any doubt that this is the standard application of the advantage in handball, that means not giving second advantage. So that's a right decision. So it's advantage. The player was not, if the player was not able to shoot, yeah, of course, it will be 7 meter, clearly. But there was the fault, then was releasing. The player with body control, with body balance and control of the ball, is shooting, and then is shooting away. No double advantage. This is not applicable. Let's go to see. Then it was exactly a similar situation, but in that case, the referees, they stopped and they decided for the 7 meter because the attacking player lost ball possession. No? In that case, they decided directly to the 7 meter because of the first action. No? Because this action from the defender leads that he was trying to shoot, but he lost the possession. Another thing is that they decided if they have given more advantage, then again the attacking player was able to recover the ball. So probably it will be a possibility to continue. But in that case, they decided when the attacker player lost the possibility to shoot directly to the empty goal, decided for the 7 meter. It was a correct decision. And then this is also a very interesting one because while the referees are giving the advantage, the match is over. The time ends. Empty goal. This player is trying to shoot. The defending player is just clearly interrupting the possibility. And while the referees are giving the advantage, then the match ends. The time finishes. This is clear that if a 7 meter needs to be given while the match ends and the referees are giving advantage, the decision needs to be taken the 7 meter. So in that case, because all the conditions for the empty goal, for the Rio criteria are met. So the player is with the ball, the empty goal, he's trying to shoot, and the defending player is making a foul. Then the decision in that case should be 7 meter for destroying the clear chance of scoring. Well, some interesting examples. So the goalkeeper reached the goal. Sorry. Let me see again. Throw of execution. Then the defending player was able to jump from outside, stops the ball, and then later he enters in the goal area. But because she entered in the goal area after stopping the ball, this is considered that it makes not advantage. Is not any fault. Play on for that situation. This is a similar situation. Also, a goalkeeper, empty goal. He takes the ball, he passes, and then the goalkeeper is arriving, but it was not yet at the goal. And then the player who is shooting to the empty goal receives a foul from the defender. Then this situation is also considered clear chance of scoring. Even the defender was in front, was not from behind. With goalkeeper, this situation never will be 7 meter, but without goalkeeper, this is for 7 meter. And then we have seen other cases of throw-offs, executions. It's empty goal. There is a goal. This is execution of the throw, but then there is a fault from the defender that is coming back to defense, that is interfering the execution of the throw-off. If we were in the last 30 seconds, yes, of course, it will be application of the 8C. But we are not in the last 30 seconds. We only need to look if we are the conditions for the empty goal, the clear chance of scoring are met. What exactly happened here? That the player was not yet ready with the ball and ready to shoot. And then because he was not ready to shoot, the only possible decision is suspension for sure for the defender that made the fault, but repetition of the throw off. Not the conditions are not met. And then these are also very interesting. That are the situation of the saves from goalkeeper. And in that point, I want to remind two rules that are applicable for that case. No, the first one is that the goalkeeper is allowed to participate in the outside the goal area as any other player. But when doing so, the goalkeeper becomes subject to rules applicable for field players. So when the goalkeeper is out of the 6 meter area, he's like a field player. There's only the exception, the special rule for the collision, but we are not speaking about the collision. And then the other interpretation that we need to consider for that situation, for those examples, is when a player is considered to enter into the goal area. And clearly is when any part of his body is touching inside the goal area. Okay, these are the two rules that we need to consider for those cases. So that's the first situation. All the cases are empty goal, and the goalkeeper is the one who is trying to save. In that case, the goalkeeper was very quick. He enters in the goal area, and he was able to stop the ball. So what she made was completely correct. So she entered the goal area and she stops the ball. Okay, she was jumping from inside and stopped the ball. So she's a normal goalkeeper. He's allowed to do so. Then the next situation is that similar one is a shoot to the empty goal. A goalkeeper is jumping from outside, is stopping the ball, and the ball is going for the outer goal area. What should be the decision in that case? He's still a field player. He's not a goalkeeper yet until he enters. And then, because he's still a field player, if he's throwing the ball away, it's throw in for the other team, not goalkeeper throw. Okay? And then the last one in this area of three that are interesting. Similar case, empty goal, shoot to the empty goal, goalkeeper outside, he's a still field player. He stops the ball and then enters in the goal area. When is considered that the player enters in the goal area? When he lands, when he touches with any part of the body, or for example, with the foot. Therefore, in that case, is the same decision that if it was a field player. Field player stopping the ball outside because he's not yet the goalkeeper until he has landed. And then when he lands, he's making the fault of entering the goal area with the ball. Then the decision in that case should have been also 7 meters. Well, and the last two situations, this is a interesting one because it's a mix. No, there is no the conditions for Rio criteria, empty goal. The player was not trying to shoot, but was also a mix between the clarification 6C and the 6B. Empty goal plus very close to the other goal, and no defenders able to stop and be able to stop that ball. That situation will be also 7 meters. And for the last, I just keep the probably most funny situation with empty goal. That is an example that sometimes empty goal doesn't mean clear chance, because the first condition for clear chance is that the player or the team is shooting to the empty goal. Here there is an empty goal. The attacking team is even making changes. They are stopping. They are probably suffering the walking humble. And when they realize, the goalkeeper already changed. So what I want to mention here is that there is no infraction from the defenders. So they could have shoot directly, but they are probably not looking to that the goal is empty. And they are even making changes. Interesting, because they can simply shoot and then they will be goal, or if a player is destroying illegally, it will be 7 meters. So example that sometimes even empty goal, there is no clear chance of scoring. Okay, and that's it. So, Courtney, I don't know if there are more questions related with empty goal or even related with the other topic, the last 30 seconds.
We have a number of questions. They're very specific situations. So we'll do our best with just verbally explaining them.
I will try to understand and as I am able to respond. I will try.
I know it would be easier if we could just show clips of this. Okay, so someone asked if an attacker scores after a deliberate defender error. I suppose in this is to last 30 seconds. Does the goal count? Is this where we apply advantage, or do you call 7 meters and red card?
For the situation of in last 30 seconds, that there is a fall from the defender, but the attacker scores the goal.
Yes.
Yeah, goal. Of course, we cannot give 7 meters because we will be punishing to the non-guilty player. Yeah. Goal is valid, of course. We are following the standard advantage rule in handball. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. This is a longer one. I'll do my best. Okay. If the attacking team loses the ball while their own goal is empty, and then the opponent shoots, but there is an incorrect substitution, so the time stops and the goal doesn't count, does the team that shot get a 7 meters, or how does the rule apply here?
Yes. I think that this is exactly some of the examples that we have seen. So a team that recovers the ball, the team he's shooting directly to the empty goal, then there is a faulty substitution from the other team, of course, from the defending team in that moment. Then the delegates need to stop. They cannot apply advantage rule. They need to stop. Mm-hmm. And therefore, this is considered a destruction of a clear chance of scoring. Therefore, a 7 meter needs to be awarded. Okay.
So, this is we're getting longer. Okay. If team A wants to quickly do a throw off, but a defender running through the middle, closer than 3 meters, interferes, normally this is red card and 7 meters in the last 30 seconds. But what if
the last 30 seconds? Yes, of course. Yeah.
And then if the attacking team is not properly set, like one player is already past the line, what is the right decision in this case?
For the last 30 seconds, if the question is related with the last 30 seconds, it's clear that the defender that is interrupting the pass from to the position where a player is waiting for receiving the ball for making the execution, this action from the defender is considered a distraction, a delay of the execution of the throw, even if the attacking players, they are not yet prepared, because when they should be ready for the execution is when the player has the ball under control. So the distraction that happens before, and the result of the distraction is that he's not able to receive the ball to make the execution. This is considered under the prescription of the rules 8 and C. So last 30 seconds apply, red card to the player destroying the pass, and 7 meter.
And this applies even if the attacking team, most cases the referees notice if a player is already over a player in the attacking team is not set properly and they're already in the past halfway.
Yeah.
But if they don't, so is this still the case, what you just said?
If the player is stopping the pass to the center where the thrower needs to execute. If the player is already in the place with the ball and a teammate of the attacker is inside the other half of the court, the referees cannot whistle for the execution. Right. The referees need to interrupt and put the players in their own half and then execute with the whistle. So this action from the defender will not be counted for the 8 and C.
Okay. Okay, it's another one more about last 30 seconds. if, and this is related to incorrect substitution, I suppose, if a 8th player comes onto the court, but there is no clear scoring chance, how is the rule interpreted in this case?
Well, this is the normal faulty substitution. It's the same application. It's 2 minutes for the guilty player who entered the court, and restart with free throw for the opposite team from the place of the where the player entered, or if the attacking team was in a better position, more advanced from the place where the ball was in that moment. But there is no application of any other additional punishment. The punishment is only in case of additional player during clear chance of scoring. It's the only case for red and blue card.
Okay, that's all the questions, and it's about perfect timing, so we will finish there. Thank you so much, Tono. We have a lot of very positive comments that this has been very helpful.
Thank you.
So I'll just tell everyone what's coming up tomorrow on the final day of the first IHF Live Online Symposium. At 1 o'clock Central European Summertime, we have IHF lecturer and coach Jorim Silla. He will be presenting about playing 7 against 6 with a focus on more than just positioning on court. And then at 3 o'clock, a very interesting presentation from PRC Chairman Ramon Galejo and CCM Chairman Diedrich Speter about game and rule development, ideas and new proposals that are being discussed from IHF side. So I hope we'll see everyone again tomorrow. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Tono. We'll see you all soon.
Thank you. Bye.